Open your history textbook and you'll see it. The Vedic period, beginning at 1500 BCE. It's dated as settled fact, a date repeated so often that it's become unquestioned. But repetition isn't proof. Behind this number is a story, one with far less certainty and far more buried evidence than most realize. The origin of 1500 BCE isn't archaeological. No Vedic manuscript has ever been found with a 1500 BCE date. No inscription, no carbon-tested relic points to it. Instead, this date traces back to 19th-century Europe, to the scholar Max Müller. He worked not from Indian excavations, but from the Buddha's lifetime, around 500 BCE, and stacked blocks of centuries for each Vedic layer, simply adding backwards. This arithmetic was shaped by the biblical chronologies of his era, which saw human history as only a few thousand years old. The 1500 BCE date was never forced by Indian evidence. It was slotted in to fit a pre-existing timeline. Bundled with this date was a theory that fair-skinned Aryans invaded India around 1500 BCE, bringing Sanskrit and the Vedas. The Vedas, then, must be no older than this supposed invasion. But both the invasion theory and the date have come apart. Genetic, archaeological, and skeletal evidence for a dramatic invasion has vanished. Even Müller, late in life, admitted his dating was uncertain and conceded that the Vedas could be thousands of years older. Yet the 1500 BCE date lingers, propped up by habit and not by new discoveries. Later scholars tried to defend it with new arguments. Treaties from the Mitanni kingdom in West Asia from around 1450 BCE mention Vedic deities. But this only shows the Indo-Aryan language was already widespread by then. It's a minimum age, not a maximum. Linguistic dating methods like glottochronology are built on assumptions and broad error bars. No direct dating of the Vedas exists. The oldest manuscript is from the 11th century CE. We're dating an oral tradition, and that always invites uncertainty. So what does the physical evidence say when we look for it? Start with the rivers. The Rig Veda calls the Saraswati the greatest of rivers, a mighty stream flowing from the mountains to the sea between the Yamuna and the Sutlej. For centuries, Saraswati was thought a legend. But satellite imagery from ISRO and other agencies revealed a buried, dried channel, matching the descriptions, running through today's Gagar-Hakra Basin, edged by faint green lines where moisture lingers beneath desert sand. Along this vanished river's course, more than 1,000 Harappan settlements cluster. Kalibangan, Rakhigarhi, Banawali, Birrana. Civilizations don't build cities in deserts. They build beside living rivers. Geologists agree a great river once flowed here. The question is when it died. The most recent studies, using satellite data, sediment dating, isotopic analysis, say the Saraswati ran perennial and Himalayan-fed until at least 4,500 years ago, drying out sharply after 2000 BCE. Even the skeptical models agree the river was gone by 1500 BCE. If the Rig Veda celebrates Saraswati as a mighty, flowing river, its hymns must have been composed while the river still ran full, centuries before the textbook date. The evidence doesn't end there. The Rig Veda's world is northwest India, the land of 7 rivers, not the later Ganges plain. The oldest hymns mention no iron, a metal that appears in India only after 1200 BCE. Within the ruins of Harappan cities, archaeologists found the small steatite Pashupati seal, a horned figure in a demanding yogic posture surrounded by animals. Many see here a proto-Shiva or Vedic Rudra and clear evidence of advanced yoga. The seal dates to 2500 to 2000 BCE. Whether or not the figure is Shiva, the posture itself shows that yogic tradition was mature in India long before 1500 BCE, implying deep cultural continuity, not rupture. Another line of evidence comes from the sky. The Vedic texts and epics are rich with astronomical references, planetary alignments, eclipses, solstice markers. Modern researchers have compared these descriptions against the known movements of the heavens. Their most conservative results place events like the Mahabharata War as early as 3067 BCE, with some studies suggesting even earlier dates. While debate continues, the strong trend is clear. The traditions that describe these skies are far older than the conventional dates suggest. And the Mahabharata presents the Vedas as already ancient, meaning the Vedas must predate even the earliest epic events. If you follow the chain, the evidence converges. The mighty Saraswati, alive until at least 2500 BCE. Settlements built along its banks. Advanced yoga and ritual already practiced. Astronomical records pointing deep into the past. The 1500 BCE date is left with no physical anchor, only an echo of 19th-century assumptions. It's important to stay honest. Some links are strong, like the riverbed and the settlements. Others, like reading the Pashupati seal as Shiva or deriving exact dates from sky descriptions, are interpretive. The Indus script remains undeciphered. We don't have a single year for the Rig Veda's origin, only a direction and a floor. But the core truth remains. The date in your textbook was never proven. It was inherited from a past that needed neat categories. The real evidence, hidden in the earth and the sky, speaks of a Vedic tradition far older than we were taught. The dry riverbeds, the buried cities, the silent seals, each waits to be seen anew, if we're willing to question the old answers. The chant drifts on the desert wind. Perhaps the oldest stories are older still, waiting just beneath the sand for eyes ready to see.